Yo, yo. Let people filter in here. I will finish running my scans. Look to come in, go over stuff, and get out in a timely manner. Luke. Yo, yo. Bitcoin name, BTM. This daily here starting to speed up. And we've got a bunch of overhead resistance. If I could get a gap up here into the mid 50s, that could be a mean reversion. Gap up parabolic. BBAI kind of starting to break out, but not really A plus with that daily range. Good call on Foxo. Thank you. Topped out right at looking left. We got that little reversal. Nice trend there today. Topped out right in that $90 to $1 range on that parabolic. And crap the bed. If this were to build over $91, I'd be interested in that long. But for now, all pops assuming they fail. DXYZ, I have a position in that one overnight. I went wild on that one today. I stayed on desk all day today given this A plus opportunity. And then I put some on here in after hours with the swing idea. Was up nice and early, 4 a.m. Got this little rollover failed follow through setup. And off of the hard crack lower high, it absorbed. So I moved on. And then I had a starter here looking to scale through opening range lows. I got stopped through high a day. And then once opening range broke, scaled, covered the flush, rescaled, and right around here was the most size I had. I covered some, rescaled, and then I was all out. Or not, I wasn't all out. I was not all out. I covered about a third. So then this little bounce back ground me out once it started to have prior support, act as support again. I moved on. So I gave back a bit of that trade there. And then once we got this rounding action, I had put some on here versus highs, scaled through the failed follow through, moved risk down to 48s, was scaling for this next 40 crack, which came and absorbed, so I covered, was all out, and it stuffed at prior highs, was back in, scale, cover on low a day. So I was up pretty nicely right around here off of that trade. Chopped myself up a bit here looking for that low a day crack. And right here where it did crack low a day, I slammed it pretty hard. So I lost $2 on that final trade there. So few kind of opportunities within the bigger picture overextension. But with my overnight trade, I'm going with a bigger picture, wider risk. And look for something like DJT right here. Where you get this big fail, it grinds everybody back, you get this sideways close, and then off the gap down, it gets no upticks. So ideally get a gap down, green to red, holds as resistance. And then I can start to scale with a new risk pyramid into that position. Once it fails, risk versus highs, and ideally get a bidless day on DXYZ and get a fade down into we could right through here. So 24 would be A plus, like crazy target. 31 conservative target. 28 is I think where it goes to. So once this breaks and holds below 37, once it's below 40 tomorrow, ideally 40 acts as a top, 37 confirms and get that 28 wash. Cody's got BTM and BTCT on watch. Understandable with the Bitcoin move up near, I think it hit an 89K this evening. You saw the stalling on the 49 breakout. Probably talking about the open. I had covered through 49 because I was risking towards highs. This was probably like a quarter size. But I didn't want to get caught in the circuit to circuit. Given this was a gap up, it wasn't red on the day. You had a low a day break right here get absorbed, and then it started. I saw it topping out into the high a day pushes, so I was looking for failed fall through right here, which ended up not coming until the high a day clear out. So could have argued that I risked a high a day clear out, risked like 55. Which size would have permitted, but I was more in the mindset of I'll just cut and then reattack it once a new setup comes. I just didn't expect it to be that quick. Looks like someone wanted that liquidity to sell. Workhorse, yeah, that's a Trump pump in the past. So that would be in the Trump basket. Decent little daily move, but this would be, gosh, it was so far back here. Back in the COVID times when Trump was mentioning names. I covered a quarter there too, but it was just stalling. Yes, like it just stood there for a couple seconds. Yeah, I saw it, but I was just more in the boat, like I say, that if it wanted to stall and then swipe all the shorts, I didn't want to be emotionally covering, so I just preferred to take the small loss and then rescale on a new setup, which was opening range lows for me. Nice on DXYZ. I fumbled it off open, taking a loss, and then just made back the 1 hour loss on the way down. Hey man, it happens. I think it's good to see. I think it's good to have some skin in the game and getting the emotions under your belt and getting a feel for how some of these higher price names trade, I think is helpful for the future. So as long as you traded a couple times and then got some key takeaways from it, I think that's all in all a win. Tesla continues higher. Oh, wow, Rumble. Nice move. This one did not need DJT to start squeezing. What was the earnings? November 12th. After market close. So tomorrow after hours. Wow. This thing was moving like minute by minute with DJT. That's wild. This DJT did not do that today. Crazy. Fun had a bit of a comeback there after hours. GME. This one here is not quite an A-grade setup, but I think it could get there. This is like a risk-on name when people want to be risky. Like it used to be ARK and Tesla. ARK is still going. So that's kind of like the euphoria indexes where people start buying stuff like ARK and Tesla when you know people want to be risk on. Oh, I traded some Tesla today? I don't even remember. Why isn't this letting me zoom? Jeez. Oh yeah, a little VWAP crack. Looking for 341s. Covered that one. Short cover, short cover, short cover. A few losses here, small win here. Didn't really amount to much. I was looking for that big move. It's gone 250 to 350. I wasn't looking for a couple bucks. I'm long Mara from 22s. Don't be giving me that from nonsense. I'm just messing. You bought low a day? Jeez. Nice job. And held it all day. About the second dip. Gotcha. Nice. Good trade. Kathy Wood, not a fan. That says Luke, not me. I don't really care about Kathy. I just like making money. Palantir will pull back to 50 before testing 100. Luke, what are these comments you're making here? What are these comments? Who cares about Kathy, first of all? Just make some money. And Palantir, sure, it could pull back, but just be a trader. Who cares where it goes? AZI from like $1 to $3. What's this chart looking like? Meh. GoPro? This one doesn't usually move much, but that daily's kind of... yeah, it doesn't move much still. But that little daily through 170 might move, but not super interested. What else we got? Jeez, so many names on scan. So much stuff moving. It's crazy. What's up with Ampex? AMPX, ask Luke. Up on earnings a couple days ago. On November 7th, after the market closed. Barely beat estimates, so positive reaction. It is a industrial name, electrical equipment. So what's going on is they report earnings and there's positive reaction to it. Save. I had contemplated taking this one long, but daily chart doesn't have a good history of day twos, where you get this big green day, barely gaps up and fails. You get this big breakout day and then gaps down. You get this test of the breakout and fails. So not a great history of day two followed through. So I would rather see this either consolidate or get like a weak open and reclaim. But I wasn't interested in the swing, just given its recent history. I assume it fails tomorrow. Just that's what it's done. That color keeps popping up on scan. Frey holding up pretty well. Could be a breakout trade there tomorrow. We had that pullback day, couple wicks. If we can get that 240 to break and build. Could be a big picture breakout there tomorrow. Ideally, this tops out and sets a higher low to 180. But I'd still join that 240 break tomorrow. Most people have probably forgot about Frey at this point, which I think is where edge comes in. A lot of times, like when you're trading the hot names, there is no edge on breakouts. Usually they're clearouts. But when you're watching names that are forgotten, and you get this big picture trend, I think the edge is in being there before everybody gets it back on their radar. Tesla 375, 400 gap for a short op. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in that one now, going forward. If we can get gap up again tomorrow, I'd likely try it again off the open. It hasn't gone red yet in a few days. And now with the gaps, it's starting to speed up. We had outlier range and then a gap up and continuation. I think A plus would be a trade into Thursday, where this kept going for another 2 days. I think that would be A plus, but at this point, it's probably like a B grade setup. Depends where it gaps tomorrow. Could be an A grade, but A plus would be a 2 more days into Thursday. Get options expiry, and the daily chart lining up. PGY starting to get going. Software name. Earnings coming up on November 12th tomorrow before market open. It's kind of weird that it's running into earnings. Could be a sell the news event. I'm not going to be guessing on earnings. It's 330, 366. Okay. Over on those IB markets after hours. How do you approach your overextended gap down? Do you always wait for a morning squeeze before entering? Or would you get it on a weakness? Preparing for DXYZ gap down. I've been getting squeezed on first red days when they gap down. Yeah, they haven't been playing out as well. I touched on this a few days ago on my shorts because I was getting in early with full size and risking to high a day and then getting stopped out before watching it work. So in this case, I put on starter size. This is about a quarter size. And then if low a day broke, I would have scaled into that with full size on high a day risk. But if it does swipe, I'm stopping out and then risking closer to where my risk level is. So I like to put a starter near the open once it's red. So something like DXYZ, if this were to gap down tomorrow, this hasn't been red in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So with this being red, if it gaps down tomorrow, sub 40, we've got tons and tons of volume trading over 40 today. So if this gaps down and pops start to fail versus 40, that would be a spot for me. If this were to be gapping down in this range, 37 to 40, I'd likely be full size off the open. And if it were to squeeze back, I'd likely cut through high a day, reattack towards red to green, and start to scale sub 40, start to scale sub 37. So it'd be more of like a higher the better type idea. But if it's red, I'm likely starting in right off open because that's a 5-day trend change. If we get a slight gap up, I'd want to see this start to fail off of prior resistance and then short through 40, short through that red move. So I wouldn't be hammering it right off the open. If we get a slight gap up, I'd want to see it fail first. But I do have a short overnight. I'm not sure if you're here to start this, but I do have a short overnight looking for a replay of how DJT did. Hope that makes sense. Okay, that one's done. Let me see here. Quickly burn through a few. Now that Tesla is moving, you've got stuff like TSLL, which I played on one of these days. I think it might have been over here. You got TSLT. Like, these are really starting to get going. I don't need this. Like, these moves are getting really nice. Where if I wanted, like, I was more trading Tesla today because DXYZ was trading in sympathy with it. But now with Tesla coming back, DXYZ fading, it looks a bit disconnected. So now I think Tesla is a bit of its own beast at this point. So if I was looking to short that Tesla trade, I'd likely spread across some of these ETFs. Was it TSLDT? We had TSLT, TSLL. There was an inverse name. With like TSLZ maybe? Because back here we had that capitulation day. I played that one for a reversal as well. Fairly clean, good volume. So like when Tesla was going up and then this one gets the reversal. Inverse trades. But TSLT looks pretty nice. Yeah, TSLT I think looks the cleanest. With that volume this morning, it looked like it was exhausting, but it just didn't. Well, yeah, if I was looking for a Tesla trade, I'd probably spread across some of those. Clask, nice move. Bitcoin name. Back up over that 15, that was a big level. ACHR. Multi-day runner. No problem, stuff and such. Outlook for energy stocks. Digesting them from last week. Not really. Till I start seeing chart patterns that look familiar. What my scan is telling me right now is Tesla, anything Trump related, Musk related, anything Bitcoin related. I'm waiting for price to show me and then looking for reasons and why they're up. I don't really have an outlook on the energy sector, so to speak. I did have eyes on stuff like Oklo, NNE, all those kinds of things. We had IONQ that were all kind of in a basket, but no real plans on them. TSLT, color. I like when names, I've always said it, when they start popping up on multiple scans. Gives me a bit more conviction in the trade. Oh wow, Hut. Nice breakout on Hut. Look at that. Right through 21s. Wow. Wow. That's a clean chart. Bitcoin name. Wow. You get that weak open, high a day clear out, or high a day break, opening range highs. Wow. That's a nice setup. Way better than a bunch of these other names. Coin gapped up quite a bit through the breakout. But stuff like Mara, for example, you've got overhead. Stuff like Riot, you've got overhead. Stuff like Clask, you've got overhead. But Hut breaking out to highs. Wow, nice move. Hey Dawson, what do you think of ADN lick trap potential? That move would have been today, sir, but no real volume came in there, so not much of a watch at this point. But you had that 430s break out right there, super illiquid. No volume really came back in, so only on 800K shares today. Don't love it, not really tradable. Better add, I don't know, because Rum has earnings, which is unfortunate. What else we got here? Feel like I've got enough on watch as it is. KC, I think that was a Bitcoin name. Or was that a China name? Man, I can't remember some of these tickers. KC, was it China or Bitcoin? Cloud storage services from China. Okay. So it's a China name. How are those China names doing? Billy. Baba. View2. Baidu. LX, that one was shaping up. Meh. Not really doing much. Okay, what else? What else? What else? We'll go through my faders. The scans are just so full. Like a lot of times we get like a good day in the market, my gainer scans are hot. We get a bad day in the markets, my fader scans are hot. And the last like week, 2 weeks, it's been everything's got like 100+ names on it. It's never like that. Temperature is picking up. Wow, task. Look at that daily. Up, 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 up. Elevator down. Wow. Talk about a seller. Jeez. That's wild. Would have been nice to be short on something like that. Why couldn't DXYZ do something like that? Get short in the morning and just never come up for air. Maybe tomorrow. Hopeful. NUWE. Not close enough to highs. VSTE, a good example of why once they start to get a liquid, you don't try and bounce them anymore. Drug, failed that breakout attempt. Chasing, starting to head back. That's it. Alrighty. Okay, so in terms of watches for tomorrow, Speeple isn't really getting any liquidity in this bounce. And with it starting to roll over with this double top here off the 120s, if 120 acted as a top, it could be one of those little daily failed follow through setups, but I think I'd prefer to just leave this one be a bit of liquid. Foxo at this point, it's setting higher lows each day and topping out in the $90 to $1 range. So we've had 2 days of straight up moves and good fails off of that resistance level. So what I'd be looking for is now shorts have been rewarded for shorting these into those daily levels. So if we get a parabolic up into those, you know shorts are going to be aggressive into it. Then I'd look for pullbacks to start to get absorbed 2 p.m. plus, and then join that for an afternoon breakout trade. Once shorts get comfortable, they're used to the bid pull into the afternoon, and once it doesn't do that one day, then possible breakout. But for now, I'm not interested in shorting any pops in that anymore. DXYZ, ideally gap down, shove into 40, failed follow through 37, confirm, and unwind down to 28s. Frey, 240 breakout potential on this daily chart. 2 days of wicks, starting to come back. Ideally a little bit of volume perk. If this wants to stall out for 1 day, I wouldn't hate that either, but I like that 240 trigger. Save, don't hate this daily chart, but not a great history of day twos. So we're going to see how this shapes up tomorrow. If it wants to consolidate for a day, possible third day surge. GME and that Euphoria index, just keeping tabs on it. It's going straight up for 3 days. Ideally continues. We've got lots of overhead. So a nice little parabolic on the daily. Would look to fade that. Kind of same thing with Tesla. I'd look to trade with something like Tesla T, Tesla L, TISL, TIST, all those. Gap up parabolics on those. A plus would be if they held up into Thursday. If I could get a gap up parabolic into these high 50s, low 60s prior resistance, this just been steady highs with volume starting. Whoa. Steady highs with volume starting to increase. If I get a gap up parabolic, I'd look to short that into daily chart resistance. GovX, ideally, this goes for another day or two. same kind of thing. Big daily chart resistance up here. Look at this volume profile. Let's mark that. So ideally this goes for 2-3 days, and then look for our first red day coming soon. So DXYZ still A+. This will be main watch. Foxo wanting more information. Speeple wanting more information. Frey 240 breakout watch. GME waiting for higher. Tesla waiting for higher. GovX waiting for higher. Collar gap up parabolic into daily chart resistance. So what else do we got here? You guys were chit-chatting while I was running through my stuff. Let me catch up. Bitcoin name, not a lot of overhead on Cipher, says Robert. Not a whole lot of daily range. Something like HUT is a lot more interesting. If I wanted to put money anywhere with Bitcoin names, it would be something like that, I think. AI names waking up too. AI broke out. Gross. Nothing I want to touch there. Soon I was looking for more of a parabolic daily to short into, but it had that big week open that got saved. Coming back pretty nicely. Steady grind. $10 would be of interest. Yeah, I saw BBAI. Hopefully sign of things to come. Yeah, if sectors can start to go one to the next, it'd be nice. KSCP. Crazy. Super illiquid. Will you look for an overextended on Tesla? Possibly turns tomorrow. If it gaps up enough, like you saw today, 320. What was the open? Open was 346 from 321. So it was up like $25, I think. Yeah, 25, 20, yeah, 25. 25-point gap, and it still continued higher. So I'd need to see something big. 40, 50 gap up. Because we even had the shove off the open and a little failed follow through. So it was a hard one to trade, but like I say, A+ for me would be into Thursday, Friday with options expiry. But I think I'd be looking more at Tesla as the vehicle, or Tesla as the anchor, and some of these ETFs as a vehicle, so I could spread risk across. Fannie Mae, not a lot of consolidation, but it's breakout. Yeah, I don't have OTCs on Centerpoint. I can only trade them on my IB account. But yeah, I mean, if you like it, looks good. Nothing I'm gonna trade. Looks good. Yeah, don't see a problem. That 240 break looks good. Tesla 365 overnight. Yeah, hopefully it keeps going higher. 365 gap isn't really that much, but like I say, that volume this morning looked like it was blowing off, and it just held and continued. So this little pullback, couple dips here into the 340s, 330s could have added some longevity to the move, but we'll keep it on watch. It is up 11% today. So, but yeah, I'm gonna head off, grab some dinner. I think that's enough names on watch for tomorrow. Thank you guys. I appreciate the chatter. I was able to come on a bit earlier. I think it helped the engagement. So thank you guys for stopping by. Hope you guys are trading well. A lot of action. Try not to do too much. For real, get in where you fit in. Do less is often more. So find out what you're good at and do a bit more of that. Instead of trading 4 or 5 names because they're all moving, put that risk of those 4 names onto your 1A+ setup and actually make it count. So thank you guys. Take care. Comb your hair. Alrighty. Thank you guys. Again, where you fit in. Make some memories. We'll see you guys in the room. Peace.